with the chopper. That's the other thing I made money off of. I was trying to remember. Nobody on yet? Are you on?
Yeah, same to me.
Everybody's here. Homemade French fries. I'm using the potatoes that I grew and harvested from the garden. We're in the middle of the Every Bit Counts challenge, and while for me that means a ton of preserving, it also just means making use of the food that I grew and not letting it go bad. So using it in our daily meals. So for lunch, I'm just gonna throw together some French fries and some BLTs, although I don't think we have any lettuce, so I guess just BTs. We'll probably put cucumber in place of that lettuce. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday and had a good service at church today. My husband is watching along. He's going to let me know when people have any comments or if you guys have any questions or anything to say, so feel free to ask questions in the chat box below. I can see that there's comments. Can you not see anything?
3, 2 eyes and a comment.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
Your garden is pregnant with lots of from Ohio. It is providing me with lots of groceries, but I feel honestly like it's probably been one of my worst garden years. I don't know if I don't know if it's just the weather or what. We just had tons of disease and just like my peppers are huge and gorgeous, but they are empty. Besides my hot peppers, they're giving me tons of peppers, but like my bell peppers, last year I harvested like non-stop and I had enough for my chilies and my salsas and my soups and everything that I made. It was just like, oh, I need a bell pepper, let me go grab it from the garden. And this year, they're big, beautiful, healthy appearing plants with no fruit on them. What are you guys having for lunch today? Or what's your like go-to Sunday afternoon lunch? A lot of times I try and use my crock pot so I don't have to do any prep and we can just come home and eat. But that did not happen today, obviously.
Got a lot of people watching that.
Why are you still talking on the phone when you...
It's just delayed, probably.
Got 2 more eyes.
Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Lisa.
Why did you...
He said
Hope you guys are having a great day.
Andrea said, beautiful Sunday, and Madison said, just harvested a bunch of potatoes for the first time. We've eaten lots of those, lots of salad and sandwiches as well.
Aren't potatoes so fun to grow? It's like a little treasure hunt. You go out there. I'm looking forward to digging up my sweet potatoes. The vines look gorgeous, although they are starting to die back a little bit with all this heat that we're having. And so I cannot wait to get out there and dig and see what I have. I planted so many different varieties because I grew my own sweet potato plants from like a dark purple sweet potato that I had grown the year before. So I'm sure that I'm going to have those in the garden, but I went to Baker Creek Spring Fest and they had all their sweet potato starts for like $2 a piece. And so I think I got like 6 or 7 different varieties. And in the beginning, the bunnies really went to town on eating them. And so I don't even know if they're all completely growing, but I do know that the bed they're in is just absolutely loaded full. So hoping to have like a rainbow of sweet potatoes.
You still talking on it?
It is so hot here. It's supposed to be 99 degrees today, but like this coming Tuesday, it's gonna be down to, what was it, 86 with like a low of 59, and I cannot wait for that weather. Sweater weather and pumpkin spice, I am absolutely here for. You guys just joined on. I just got home from church and I'm just throwing together some lunch really quickly. We are just doing some french fries and some BLTs with a beautiful loaf of sourdough that I made. I accidentally let my sourdough starter die. I neglected it in the chaos of the garden, and we did not have sourdough for like 2 months, and luckily some friends shared with me their starter, and so I'm back at it, and I'm like, cannot let this starter die. This time I had that one going for like 8 months. I was doing so good, and then I forgot to put it in the fridge, and I kind of forgot about it and neglected it, and it grew the deadly pink film at the top of it. So I'm so glad to have sourdough back in my home. Store-bought bread is not even comparable.
Madison says, yes, they're fun. I haven't tried growing sweet potatoes yet, but they're on the list for next year. And then Andrea said, I absolutely love sweet potatoes. Didn't grow up with them, but I remember I didn't like them in the beginning until I tried different recipes.
I also, like, I remember my mom making sweet potatoes like at Thanksgiving or holidays, and I don't know, it just sounded disgusting to me, a sweet potato. Why would you want that? And so I never had them, and then I started dating my husband, and his mom made like the typical like sweet potatoes with marshmallows and brown sugar. And so I didn't want to be rude, so of course I ate them over there, and I'm like, oh, I do actually like sweet potatoes. And so there's something that I really enjoy to grow in my garden, and obviously love to use in the kitchen as well. I don't season my stuff with like any specified seasoning each time. I just grab whatever. Right now I'm using this Killer Hogs barbecue rub, some Dano seasoning, and a big thing of garlic with salt and pepper, of course.
Andrea asked if you got a name for your sourdough starter. I named mine Hercules because he's such a heavy lifter.
Hercules, I love that. I do. Her name is Eve because just like even the Bible, she is the mother of all humans. So ours is the mother of all sourdough. And even though Eve died, she is still Eve, the new one as well. Alright, got a whole tray of fries seasoned up. I'm going to throw these in a 425 degree oven and let them get golden brown. Next up is just the bacon. I like to just bake my bacon because it's easier and it's less messy. And I can bake an entire package on my cooking sheet, so that's the way that I do it.
Stop.
can you take?
BLTs are kind of our go-to sandwich in the summer. Got hair stuck to my face. Our go-to sandwich in the summer because of course, all the fresh tomatoes coming in. So these are a regular part of our meals. All of my kids love them, especially when they're on sourdough bread. They're even better. What is it saying, Dave? I see comments.
Xavier said cute woman power. That's the last one.
Cute woman power. Why do you scrunch them?
So I can fit more on there. I am going to make an Every Bit Counts challenge video today. I'll probably sneak in a quick nap after lunch, and then I am going to do some preserving. I have some beef bones that I'd like to get going for some broth. I think my freeze dryer should be about finished with that tomato sauce that we made, so I need to get it out and package it up. And I have some of those hot peppers that we picked together that I really want to get started on a ferment to make some fermented hot sauce. So I'm going to try and get that done today. And then I also have been being begged by my husband to make him some of those fig granola bars that I make. So if I have time, I might try and squeeze some of those in as well.
Andrew said, so glad you pulled out the bacon. Almost forgot about mine. I really have to fix a meal with it.
I think we always have bacon in our fridge, and if I don't have any thought out there, I'm loaded up in the freezer as well.
Glenda says hello.
Hi, Glenda. I am just making Sunday afternoon lunch for my family. We are doing sourdough BLTs and some French fries that I just threw in the oven.
I don't know. Closed it out. See it. All of your food.
It was not all the food. Look at this beautiful loaf of sourdough I made. I have so much fun with my sourdough, with designing it and doing the scoring. And I have really missed it for the last 2 months. So this was my first loaf after coming back. So I had a lot of fun scoring the top of that.
It looks good.
Andrew said GESUNDHEAT.
Oh, gesundheit. It means bless you.
It's German.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you, Andrea.
She wasn't with them.
There's 25 people watching.
I was a little bit worried that I would not have the sourdough touch after not making it for 2 months, but it is still absolutely gorgeous and it smells so good. I did this loaf, and then I also did a brown sugar cinnamon loaf. We had that for breakfast. Look how pretty those swirls are. And I did a jalapeno cheddar loaf, which I only put 1 jalapeno in there because I don't like heat, and my husband does. So we kind of compromised on that one. Hopefully it's not too hot. I have not baked it yet. I do need to do that this afternoon, score it and bake it.
Looks good.
It looks good. Thank you. Who wants to go pick me a couple big tomatoes out of the garden.
There you go. You want to go, Isaac?
I need some tomatoes. Okay, thank you.
What do they have to be?
Just find the biggest ones you can find.
And how many? 3?
Just pick several. Yeah. As many as you can carry without dropping them. I really want one of those sourdough bread slicers where you like crank it. I think it's the Zeiss, or I think that's the name of them. If you guys have one, let me know if you love it. They're so expensive. That's why I haven't got one. And this bread knife works really well. It's a Pico Haas. This company sent me this knife, and I do really like it, but I still think it would be so much easier to like get nice, thin, even slices with one of those that are actually made for sourdough bread.
Shelly, please.
Hmm?
Shelly, please. Is that a name?
I don't know.
Anyway, so Hyper is such a person. You inspire me.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I am glad that you say that. I mean, it makes me feel really good, but I'm just here taking care of my family, and I'm so glad to be able to bring you guys along for the journey and be able to share with you. It's a blessing to me as well.
Almost 30 people.
Want some?
Oh, that's mine. Thank you. Oh, that's mine. Thank you.
Want some? It's good, huh? It's really good. What do you guys usually do on Sunday afternoons? Typically we come home and then I take a nap, like a several hour nap typically. But today I told myself, like, I'm gonna have to set an alarm and give myself 30-45 minutes tops because I have a lot to do.
How much fruit pie is left?
Are you talking about my kiddo in the background, Ronnie? He's here begging for sourdough bread. Ooh, lots of tomatoes. Right here.
This is the biggest one.
She brought me an Amish paste, a Dr. Witchy, a San Marzano. I think this one's a Supremo. And I don't know. This might be a Blue Beauty. It's kind of got a tint of blue to it, but I'm not 100% sure. As you can tell, we are suffering in the tomato department around here. We don't have a lot up for grabs. Although, did you look at the very front of the arch? Because I had the very front of the long arch. Go look there. I think I have some big ones ready there.
Okay, so you go. So we're on the tomato though?
Nope. The tomato that's at the front of the arch.
And you're used to make your
Okay.
lavender strawberry and orange jam recepts.
That's-
Love to use it
There's
on Rocky
one.
Road ice cream.
You put strawberry ice cream in your, or strawberry jam in your Rocky Road ice cream? That sounds amazing. I've never tried that before.
That one I got from there, and there is one more
No.
that wasn't.
The arch.
Ah.
Yeah.
Shelly says,
Another tomato.
which tomatoes are low acid? I need to grow those ones.
Shelly, all yellow varieties of tomatoes taste lower acid. But I think technically they've decided now, like for canning purposes anyways, that they are all the same acidity no matter the color. So for like pH purposes, I don't think there's a difference. But as far as like taste buds go, yellows, if you want a low acid, are the way to go.
We got ice cream. You don't like ice cream?
No, we don't. Get out of there. Nothing? Give me something to talk about. Oh, good. Thank you.
You want? No more. No more.
I'm very new at this going live thing, obviously. Throw some questions my way. I don't know what to talk to you guys about when I'm working. My mind is kind of focused on working, I think. What do you want to know? Ask me. You can ask me gardening questions, preserving questions, homestead questions, family questions. I am a mom to 4. Have a husband. We have been here at this home on this acreage for almost 13 years.
Andrea says, do you start having problems with this kind of stink bug that gets in all kinds of fruits and veggies? It's kind of greenish and has about the same body armor like a squash bug.
No, but I do have, I don't know what they are. They're a green stink bug type of thing, but they're like emerald green, shiny. And yes, if I leave a tomato on the vine for too long and it starts getting soft at all, they will devour it. Is that what you're talking about? They're bigger though. They're not small like squash bugs.
And then Shelly says, are you born again Christians? I heard you mention church on YouTube videos.
Yes, Shelly, we are Christians. I did not grow up in church. Actually, my family was Mormon. My mom was very loosely Mormon, but I went occasionally with my grandparents. And then I met my husband, and he went to a fundamental Methodist church, and he talked me into going with him, and I went for several years. And got saved in my late 20s, and I teach the teen Sunday school class at church, and my husband teaches the Sunday night church, and he leads the choir.
She says, amen. Me too, Jesus is king. And then she said, those sound like beetles.
They are some kind of beetle, yeah.
And then Ronnie says, how do you make molasses?
Ronnie, I just put a short out a few days ago of making the sorghum syrup, so the recipe that we looked at said it needed to boil for 6 hours and we needed to continuously stir it. I was working on my computer. It was late at night. My husband sat down for a minute to rest, and he fell asleep, and I smelled burning sugar and jumped up and flew into the kitchen. And so, yes, we have sorghum syrup. It still tastes amazing. It didn't burn, but it did get too thick. It is no longer syrup. So this week I am going to try and melt this back down in like a double boiler situation and thin it out with some water. I talked to some friends who grow sorghum in like large amounts, and she said that she's done that before and just thin it back out out. So that is the project for the week.
Jay says, Jay Rist, this is Kim. It amazes me that you work a job and still put all the effort into your garden and cook real food. What do you do? Thought you said you worked at the hospital.
Is that Kim you said?
No, that's Jay.
Jay. Oh.
But
Jay.
yes, Kim is on Jay's channel.
Oh, Kim. Yes, I am a registered nurse, but actually about 3 weeks ago, I quit my position at the hospital. There were some changes that I didn't love, and it was just becoming all a little bit overwhelming. So I am now teaching health class. My kids go to a private Christian school, and so I teach there and then do the garden. I also own a newborn photography studio that I stay fairly busy in. So I kind of have my hands a little bit in all different places. Plus, of course, this awesome blessing that this YouTube channel has become has really helped us out quite a bit as well, and allowed me to definitely not step out on my own from having a job, but from being able to pursue the things that I want to actually put my time into more.
Cindy says hello from Holland, Michigan. Love your channel.
Hi, Cindy. Thank you. So glad you're here.
And Ronnie missed your short video on the molasses.
I know. I don't. That was my very first short, and it didn't get seen very much. Like, I think it has 1,000 views. So if you haven't seen that, go watch it for me.
And Andrea says, not the metallic shiny green ones. These ones are almost neon green, and they get even on developing fruits and vegetables. Once they bite into them, they transfer some musky smell to them.
I have never heard of those, so no, I don't have a problem with them, thank goodness. Honestly, my biggest problem in the garden is still those horrible cucumber beetles. I want to grow cucumbers so bad, and I just have been unsuccessful every single time that I've tried because I have cucumber beetles so badly. But I planted some for a fall planting, and fingers crossed right now they look beautiful, and I have not seen any cucumber beetles on them, so I'm really hoping that I'll be able to put up some pickles.
Ask Cindy what the temperature and humidity is up there in Holland.
In Michigan? What are your temperatures looking like in Michigan, Cindy? Are you miserably hot like we are, or is it pretty nice temperatures?
Kimberly Dickerson said hi. Cindy says slightly cooler today, 80s, but has been so hot and humid. Shelly says, try 2 quarts of water, 1 quart vinegar, spray your plants, it won't harm the bugs. But it's a great deterrent and it won't eat the plants. Really?
I will definitely try that. Alright, I am out of mayonnaise. I make my mayonnaise homemade for the most part. I do occasionally get burnt out and buy some Duke's milk from the store, but we're out of that as well. So I'm going to make some mayonnaise really quickly. I just do 1 egg. A pinch of salt. I typically do lemon juice, but I actually had a friend talking about homemade mayonnaise this week, and she mentioned using pickle juice, and we have these quick pickles that we absolutely love, so I'm going to try a little bit of the pickle juice instead of lemon juice.
Cindy says, not typical for Michigan. We have only had 2 inches of rain in Elmer County since the end of May.
Wow. That sounds terrible. We're in a drought here too, but we had so much rain this spring that it really helped us, but now it's so dry and so hot. I also like to just put in a small squirt of mustard, and then I use avocado oil for my mayonnaise.
You got somebody from South Africa. Her name
And I do it with my immersion blender.
is Lorinda.
Lorinda.
From South Africa. Love your channel. Been using some of your recipes. Busy canning chicken broth at the moment.
I also am making broth today. Not chicken, but I'm going to be doing some beef broth. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're here with me. My cord is like just almost not long enough to show you guys what I'm doing. But so I just have an egg, salt, a little bit of mustard, and some pickle juice. And then I'm going to go in with some avocado oil. Oh, that's not going to work. Yep, you can still see it there. While I blend. I go in with, I don't know, like, I don't measure. About half a cup, 3/4 of a cup probably. Beta? Oh. He can do that. We'll put him to work. So that's how easy it is to make homemade mayonnaise without all of the garbage ingredients that any mayonnaise you find at the store is going to have. This does not have a long shelf life. When I make homemade mayonnaise, I try and use it up within like a week. I have heard of fermenting it and giving it a longer shelf life, but I've never tried that. This is amazing and it tastes way better than store-bought mayonnaise anyways. Plus, it's summer, so we're doing lots of pasta salads and tuna salads and chicken salads and all the things that use mayonnaise, so we go through it easily. Where put my lid? Here it is.
You get up to 37.
We will also have these pickles with our lunch. So we're gonna have BLTs with the sourdough bread, those French fries that I probably need to stir a little bit, and some pickles.
Is it hot?
Yeah, it's hot.
Hey, look. They smell good.
Smell good.
We don't want to do anymore.
My daughters, both of them, Olivia and Avery, used some of that peach pie filling that we canned last year and made a big, huge peach pie with a crumble topping last night. So we had that for dessert last night, and we'll also have it probably for dessert after lunch today. It was amazing, and it was absolutely beautiful too.
Jay asked, does most mayonnaise have mustard in it? I didn't know that.
Jay, I've seen a lot of recipes for mayonnaise. Some people use mustard, some people don't. It adds just like a little bit of tang, and it makes it a pretty yellow color, which I have farm fresh eggs, so it's more of a yellow mayonnaise anyways. But I've tried it without, and I just prefer it. It's not even like probably 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's just the tiniest amount, but I think it really improves the flavor. Are there any types of preserving that you guys want to see coming up in the upcoming Every Bit Counts challenge videos? I have an herb video planned for you. I have so much rosemary and thyme and sage that I need to harvest. So I'm going to do a video on how to use the herbs that you grow. Like I said today, I am going to ferment those hot peppers. I'm going to get a batch of broth going. I'm going to package up that freeze-dried tomato sauce. I also have, I'm trying to think. Oh, I have some giant zucchini back here. So I would like to freeze dry some of this. I froze a ton of it for like a quick zucchini bread, but I want to try freeze drying it too and see which way I prefer.
That's a big squash.
That is a big squash, you're right. And I was just looking at my garden this morning. I went out to water and I planted squash and zucchini for the fall. And they are looking beautiful, so I can't wait to start getting fresh squash and zucchini again. It won't be long at all, probably like another 3 weeks, I bet.
Shelly asks, can you mix stocks and broths on your challenge videos?
Yes. So Shelly, I'm going to be making some beef broth in my big roasting pot on the challenge today in a video. It'll probably go out to you tomorrow. Half of it will anyways. Me throwing it all in the roaster. I'm going to let it roast for 24 to 36 hours to just really develop those flavors. But the way that I do that is we raise our own beef and we get them processed, and I get back what they call soup bones. And so I like to throw those soup bones into my roaster with all of my vegetable scraps that I save. So a lot of times if I am chopping up onions or garlic or peeling carrots, or if I have like the end of a broccoli or cauliflower that I'm not going to use, those types of things, I put them in a bag in my freezer, and then I'm going to dump that into the roasting pot as well with a bunch of fresh herbs that we're going to go harvest and some peppercorns and some salt, and I will just let that roast for a long time, like 24 to 36 hours, and then we will can it up at that point, and that just really makes some incredible broth. And it's super heavy in collagen as well, so good for your bones and your joints and your body in general.
Vincent Hayward Farm, what is your favorite item to can?
Oh, my favorite item to can. That's a hard one because I'm somebody who gets very tired of doing the same thing, and so I am constantly trying new recipes and new ways to preserve food. I think that tomato products in general are what we use the most as a family. And I would say, like, if I had to choose one single product, it would be spaghetti sauce. I'm really trying hard this year to put up an entire year's worth. But even though, like, it's my favorite thing to make, I don't do it the same way every single time. Like, I may throw a whole bunch of herbs in one batch, or I may roast one batch for 24 hours, or I may just get it done as quick as possible, or I may load it up with zucchini and carrots and onions and celery, and so it's never the same way. My husband complains because even when I make dinner, I'm not like a recipe user. I have a really hard time giving you guys recipes because I have to think about like, okay, what did I put in there this time? I'm just not somebody who cooks like that. I'm a measure with your heart kind of girl, and so probably spaghetti sauce. I'm getting sidetracked here. Spaghetti sauce is my favorite, but tomato products in general. So I do like a chili starter, which is tomatoes loaded with onions and bell peppers and chili seasonings. And then when I'm ready to make a pot of chili, I just brown some ground beef, and I throw some beans in that quart of chili starter, and it's excellent. I also make like sloppy joe starter, which is the same kind of thing with just different seasonings. It's sweeter, and you just throw that on some ground beef, and I have a quick dinner on some buns one night. I do like tomatoes with okra and onions, and I really love to serve that over like some sliced fried up sausage, kind of like a jambalaya style meal, and put it over some rice. That's really good. So tomato products are my favorite to can, and they're my favorite to grow as well.
Vincent Hayward Farm, thank you. And do you think the freeze dryer is worth the hype, and what brand do you have?
I do. I absolutely love my freeze dryer. I have a Stay Fresh, and I'll be completely transparent and honest. I didn't purchase it with my own money. Stay Fresh sent me the freeze dryer, but it has been an absolute game changer for my preserving in a lot of different ways. So probably the biggest way is like if you just have a few things coming in and you need to put them up, but it's not enough to like drag out all of your canning equipment. You can throw it in the freeze dryer, and you don't have to. I have the 5 tray. You don't have to have the same food on 5 trays. So if you have just enough okra to fill 1 tray, or even half a tray of your freeze dryer, and then you can put other foods to fill the whole thing. And so I'm getting little bits and pieces. Every bit counts. Preserved with the freeze dryer, and I love being able to do that. Number 2 is that it has really changed the way in which we snack. So instead of potato chips, my kids are snacking on barbecue seasoned carrots and broccoli. They're eating, don't buy a freeze dryer unless you want to spend tons of money on fruit if you have kids, because I cannot keep the fruit coming fast enough. My kids, my husband being a kid in this case, eats through it so quickly that I can't keep up. It has just honestly really been a game changer. I have spaghetti sauce going in it right now, so I'm curious to see how that will turn out. I love the idea of, so like we use spaghetti sauce for making pizza on our homemade pizza crust, and I love the idea of just being able to scoop out like a 1/4 cup of the sauce, reconstituting that and having just enough for the pizza, and not having to stick that jar in my fridge and try to figure out how I'm going to use that rest of it that week.
Shelly says the next time you make pizza, have to show us how you make yours.
I will do that. I also do have, I'm trying to think of what video I put it in, but I have made pizza a few different times in some videos. That's one of our favorite dinners around here, and we can make it fit every one of my kids' tastes, because a lot of times I'll just make like a big thing of dough and then chop it up and give them each their own dough so they can make their own pizza. What was the 4?
That's what's comments.
Oh.
TT says she doesn't use recipes either.
My mom does not cook with recipes very often. I'm sure that is where it came from, but I just throw things together. I do love to look at recipes. Like I have Pinterest board after Pinterest board of recipes saved, and I glance at them and kind of get an idea, or even like look at 3 or 4 recipes and get an idea of what I want to do, and then I just come in and experiment. So if you eat at my home, you'll probably never eat the same thing twice.
Blessed wife and mama. Hugs and kisses from Kentucky. You are a huge inspiration. Thank you so much for sharing all this with us.
That was so sweet. Thank you.
My hubby and I also watch your cousin, and I believe he's the one that mows.
Yes, Kevy is my cousin, long hair juggernaut. He is the one who talked me into starting this channel, and I am so thankful to him. I thought, there's no way I can come on here and record myself. Like, I'm awkward, and I don't know, it just felt so weird at first. Even still now, sometimes talking to the camera is hard for me, but I am working really hard to get past that. Kevy is having a baby, and like I said, I own a newborn photography studio, so go on his page and tell him that he needs to bring his baby to me in February. I cannot wait to meet. I don't know if it's a him or a her yet, so I cannot wait to meet and snuggle their new baby.
Jay says, daughter said you can put clean tomatoes directly in your freezer bags and put in the freezer to put them in soups. Do you do that?
I do. I freeze a lot of tomatoes, especially like when I have tons of produce coming in and I'm overwhelmed, or if I'm just getting like a few tomatoes and my freeze dryer is full, then I just throw them straight into the freezer. A lot of times I'll core them first if they're a big slicing tomato, because it makes the process easier, but throw them into the freezer, and then when I'm ready to make like a big batch of soup or salsa or stew or sauce or anything like that, the skins slip right off when they thaw, and so it makes an easy job of that. It's a great way to store them up.
I've been mostly canning green beans in small batches this year. Just pulled all my plants.
Bacon is.
Are you still harvesting green beans, or are you done?
I pulled all of my green beans, so my bacon is finished. My french fries are not done yet. I pulled all of my green beans probably a month ago and replanted so that I would have a fresh batch for fall. They're not producing yet. They're still small plants, but I am hopeful that I'll have a bunch to put up in a can. And when I say that, I do have pole beans still going. So I have rattlesnake pole beans, and they are still putting out a lot of beans that we're able to eat fresh. I also have let a lot of beans just dry on the vine, on my pole vines this year, because I want to put up, when I say a lot, like it takes a ton of beans to put up dried beans, but enough for a few meals at least of dried beans for us to eat.
Ronnie says, do you make flavored butter? I'm experimenting this year. I don't make the butter, just mixing garlic or other things.
That is something I'm planning on doing in my herb video, is making like some herb, compound butters that are loaded with herbs and seasonings. So if you have some good recipes for me, send them my way. These fries are soft, but they are not crispy yet. So I'm gonna turn my oven up to broil and get them done because my kids are all staring at me ready to eat.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're taking him out, can I make
We'll see. You gonna make the sandwiches?
Boy, you're making my leg go to sleep. Oh.
How?
I'm sitting on it.
What's wrong with getting the water to go to sleep?
I like to just soak my bacon on some paper towels to get a little bit of that grease off so it's not dripping on us as we're eating.
Cindy, what's your favorite thing to can each year?
Cindy, I was just talking about this. I have such a hard time narrowing that down, but I think what I decided is that my favorite thing to can is spaghetti sauce. But if it was just like a topic in general, my favorite thing is is tomato products of all kinds. So I love to do spaghetti sauce. I love to do chili starter. I love to do sloppy joe sauce. I love to do diced tomatoes that are like loaded with herbs. I did this year last year I did rotel. So tomatoes are my favorite thing to grow, my favorite seeds to start, my favorite seeds to choose from. There's so many different kinds, and so tomato products in general are my absolute favorite.
Andrew says, how did you enjoy the Asian yard long beans that were gifted to you? Mine are so prolific this year, unlike my green beans.
I love them. So actually we just had them for dinner this last week. I did a like Asian style chicken and I made a homemade teriyaki sauce for it, and I threw those long beans in there. I will say that when you freeze them, they have the same texture that all frozen beans do. That's not my favorite, and it's like that squeak that a green bean has once it's frozen. I'm wishing that I would have used some of them fresh. I've grown Asian long beans every single year, and I haven't had to plant them. Is the thing, is they just come up on their own, and this year they didn't, and so I was so thankful that she shared with me. But I will be for sure planting them in my garden next year because we really do enjoy them fresh a lot better than I do frozen.
Love the color of your cabinets.
Thank you. We redid this kitchen. How many years ago was that?
Back in 17.
In 2017. When we moved here, we had like seafoam green with a black glaze on the cabinets, and they were so ugly. And we didn't have this island, so I have like a really big kitchen, and it was just wide open in the middle, which my kids loved. Like they rode their ride toys all through the place. My stove was right there where that picture that wall, so I didn't have any cabinets around it, and so it was not functional at all. So this has been so much nicer. My husband designed and built this cabinet, or not the cabinet, well, the cabinets, but the whole island in the middle, and it has just made my kitchen so much more functional. Plus, I do absolutely love the green cabinets as well.
They all like the bacon. They're commenting about the bacon.
Oh, what about it?
Just how they can smell it.
It does smell really good. So we're having BLTs for lunch if you missed that. I have some homemade sourdough bread. I have a big plate of beautiful tomatoes, and I guess we're not actually having BLTs because I don't have any lettuce. We made some homemade mayonnaise, and I have a jar of quick pickles, and then I have some French fries made from the potatoes that we grew in the garden going on broil. Right now they are just about done. They are, ouch, that's hot. They are crisping up, so probably like 2 more minutes, and then I will get to feed my family because they are, look at them, they are staring at me. They are some hungry kiddos.
Shelly wants to know if your cabinets have handles.
They do, they have like a barn style handle on them. We painted it like a, I don't know, like a brownish color, but the paint is actually wearing off. This is a kitchen that gets used. It is definitely not just for looks. All right, guys, my fries are finished. I'll show you what they look like, and then I'm gonna get off here and get these kiddos fed.
Yum.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this Sunday afternoon. Be watching for a video tomorrow. And until I see you then, I pray that you have a good Sunday and that God blesses your life richly.
Andrea wants to put cowboy candy on the BLTs. So I thought.
I have some in my fridge. My husband may do that, but I am too big of a wimp, so I will not be. Although, Andrea, if you don't like spicy, which you probably do if you're talking about eating cowboy candy, I made a batch and I put half pineapple in it instead of the peppers, and it was so good and I could tolerate it. All right, it was so nice to hang out with you guys. I hope you have a great day.